Hello and welcome. I'm Charles Aite. This afternoon, the Bank of Ghana has issued a public alert against the quotation and payment of goods and services in dollars and other foreign currencies, except the statement warned that any such violation are punishable by a term of imprisonment of 18 months. It says the central bank is collaborating with the national security law enforcement agencies to clamp down companies and individuals breaching this regulation. Well, this warning comes as the cedi has depreciated by about 14.6% to the US dollar so far this year. And as you can see on the screen, excerpt says that in clear terms, the BOG is warning Ghanaians that engaging in foreign exchange business without a license issued by the Bank of Ghana is illegal. Pricing, advertising, receiving or making payments for goods and services in foreign currency in Ghana without the BOG's written authorization is also legal. Well, joining me via Zoom with their perspectives are economists with Data Bank, Courage Mate, as well as the Chief Finance Officer at the Valley View University, Dr. William Seprap. Welcome, gentlemen, to the program. I want to start with you, Courage. Of course, it's obvious that this warning is part of measures being taken to appreciate the performance of the cedi against various currencies. But too little, too late, do you think?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Charles. I would also say better late than never, because I think it's appropriate to begin by paraphrasing one of the great philosophers, Thomas Hobbes, that in the absence of social control, man will live in a state of nature governed by his reasons in the service of his passion, unquote. Now, it may be too little, too late as it appears, but it's better late than never because it appears there's been failure or lax in enforcement of policies, directives, barring people from quoting and transacting in foreign currency. So because of that, it has created a state of free for all, and that is hurting the stability of the exchange rate to some extent. So it may appear quite late, but I mean, better late than never because it is high time policymakers took a firm stance against some of these activities. And it is important to also stress that people should read this directive within the context of the fact that it is not just those engaging in price quotation that are liable for sanctions, but also those engaging in purchasing or patronizing these activities.
Well, hold on your thoughts there because Dr. William Seprap also joins us on this matter. Doc, grateful that I could join us. You've heard Courage say that, of course, it's much more timely, even though it's somewhat late, a policy direction by the Bank of Ghana. But when you're looking at the motive behind this, obviously, is to appreciate the cedi, which has fallen by almost 14% this year. Do you think that this could really prop things up in the short to medium term?
Thank you very much for calling me. I'm not in the country, but I've been following what is happening. So let's go back into history. In 2003, this same instruction was issued when our currency devalued. In 2014, this same instruction was also issued. And in 2022, we are having this same instruction being issued. What it means is that we as a country are not positioned very well to go about in making sure that we get this thing implemented and enforced. The problem is with our enforcement strategy. So in the short term, maybe some people will be arrested as scapegoats. But if we really want to make sure that we control people quoting prices in foreign currencies, we must be straight, and it must be a long-term plan of making sure that this is done. I'm sure Bank of Ghana may have to, as they are saying that they have teamed up with the national security. This should not be a 9-day wonder, but there should be a long-term strategy to ensure that this is achieved. If not, our currencies will be having this devaluation all the time. Anytime the currency devalues, they issue this kind of order or instruction, but we don't see anybody being arrested or punished. So for me, in the short term, maybe within a week or two, somebody will be arrested and they will splash it in the news. But if we don't have a long-term plan as to making sure that the security agencies work to make sure that we arrest people who are involved in doing illegal trade in foreign currencies, we will still be having this challenge in the near future.
Great. If you could also hold on your thought there, Dr. Williams Pratt, for just the next few minutes, because we have online Mr. Megayebo, Samuel Megayebo. He's Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. Why we're having him is because when it comes to the quotation of, services in dollars, real estate companies are really much into it. And Mr. Megayebo, grateful that you could join us. You've, of course, listened to the submissions of the two gentlemen, as well as heard about the directive from the Bank of Ghana. From your perspective, as Executive Secretary of GRTAs, you know that most of the members, we do not know whether they have license to do so, are into the quotation of, the pricing in dollars. How do you respond to this, and how is this informing you as GRTAs?
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity, and good afternoon to your viewers. This law has been with us for some time now, and if Bank of Ghana now wants to increase enforcement or want to create more awareness and then move into enforcement, I think we wouldn't have a problem with it. But what is happening is that, as you said, some of the law permits some of our members or members to apply for exemptions in certain cases. For example, we have a large base expatriate or foreign buyers for some of our properties, and they are living in the diaspora. So obviously, such clients, we can still, relate to them in dollars. And it is also to correct the notion that greater members or real estate developers are interested in collecting dollars from clients. That is not the case. In most cases, it has been indexing the dollar to the cedi, because as you are aware, there's a lot of fluctuations and volatility in the cedi-dollar relationship, and our project or the kind of business we do, it is difficult to maintain momentum when prices keep escalating. And you are aware that over the past 3 months or so, the issue of price increment is not easy. And so picture yourself in a situation where you have a contract to deliver a house to somebody in 6 months, and you started buying cement at 20 and ending the project with the cement at 60. How do you take care of such a situation? So it is not deliberate on the part of real estate developers to do that. They safeguard, their investment and to make it comfortable. Sometimes even their clients feel comfortable with that also. So that, there's fair balance in these fluctuation issues and all that. Even in recent times, the price increments that we have experiencing, it's not even just about dollar exchange rate, but international markets themselves also going up. So the issue here, I think if it is a regulation and it's law, as has been given out, everybody must obey the law. But sometimes you must face reality and also make room for some of these things to make it possible for businesses to survive.
Great. But in facing reality, Dr. Williams Pratt, before you take leave of us, you've heard from GRTA's point of view, the cedis, not being stable against major currencies, really having a toll on their goods and services and the production margins. How do we balance the risks, even as the Bank of Ghana is moving very tough on, companies engaging in the quotation in dollars without necessarily having the license to do so, and not also having to put them in a tight place where they could, be kicked out of business because of the fluctuation of the cedi? How do we balance the risks? Do we have Dr. Williams Pratt on the line? I'm afraid we've lost him. But Courage, if you could take this up. Of course, you've heard from GRTA's point of view, the risks involved with working with the cedi, even though there's so much for the very proposal, the directive by the central bank. How do we balance the risk of ensuring that even as we're moving to ensure the cedi is much more stable by this very austere measure, we're not kicking businesses out of the company?
If you look at the issues, it appears there is a bi-directional causality between dollarization and the behavior of exchange rate. So on the one hand, you can argue that because we dollarize our products, then there's too much demand for dollars. But at the same time, it appears it is a consequence of unstable exchange rate. And then people wanting to bypass the stocks would now have to dollarize. So there appears to be some bi-directional causality. Now, from what he said, it appears the ball has been thrown back in the court of the policymakers, where the alternative to dollarization is indexation. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where there's price volatility, exchange rate volatility, one of the ways around it is to index. And so it tells you that you need to stabilize exchange rate by whatever means. And we all know what the causes of the exchange rate volatilities are. Chief among them is the fiscal excesses or the fiscal risks. And the MPC has always highlighted on that a lot more. Once you get a lot of these risks down, then you start to get a grip on exchange rates, and then the issue of dollarization and indexation will also go down. So yeah, this is how to balance it. Whilst you call for a reduction or a stoppage of dollarization, there's also the call or the responsibility on the policymakers to ensure a stable exchange rate and in general price stability in the economy.
Great. Mr. Megayebo, you're listening to Courage Marty there, and of course, sound reasoning he has, shared with us. But what's going to be the next point of action for GRTAs, especially where we do know that some of your members, through licensing or, not through licensing, are quoting in dollars? What happens to those who do not have license but are yet quoting in dollars? What's going to be the next direction from GRTAs on this point?
I think under the circumstance, we are all interested in helping in stabilizing our currency and making the value of our currency grow. But so just as my brother just said, that the policymaker must also understand some of the tenets of some of the businesses that we run and be flexible and be willing to work with us to make it workable for all of us. But we are going to abide. I mean, we have no choice. We will abide by the law. But then we should also be willing to work in a framework where we will all understand the nature of our businesses and make certain exemptions and certain flexibility for all of us to work. So we will increase sensitization, we'll engage ourselves in workshops and train ourselves, get maybe some officials from Bank of Ghana to come and assist us. It's not like it's new. We've actually engaged them in the past. But the challenge has been the environment we find ourselves. And so we need to fix the economy itself. We need to work towards stabilizing the currency naturally so that all these things will not come in the first place. You see, that's the way I see it. Because it is difficult, really difficult, as I explained to you, when you are building a project and you start with the price and you finish at the price. It has brought so much confusion between clients. Some people who have signed on mortgages, for example, we are having a very, big challenge. We're working with some of them. And projects that have been secured and has been fully awarded to people. And then you get shocked with all this high increments and high prices of materials. It throws the project out of gear. And it has brought a lot of problems. In fact, as I speak to you now, there's a lot of renegotiations going on. And some projects have actually been put on complete hold. Because the volatility, the exchange rate situation, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's not working well. But Bank of Ghana, we cannot stop them. They should go and enforce their law. But I think they need to engage us more so that we can explain things to them, and where they think they can give us some leeway, we will use it and make it possible for businesses to survive. Great. I think at the end of the day, it is about survival of business. The government can also get access to tax. If we collapse, the government will not get access anyway.
Gentlemen, we appreciate your input. Courage Marty of Data Bank Research, and of course, Samuel Megayebo as well, the Executive Secretary of GRTAs. Grateful that you both could join us for this discussion. But still to come in the bulletin, the Association of Ghana Industries call for a total ban on raw material exports, including that of cocoa.
I am of the opinion that to some extent, some agricultural products should be banned from export in their raw states.
Now, the president of the Association of Ghana Industries has presented two policy proposals to government. The first is a total ban on export of raw materials, including cocoa, so as to create an enabling environment for industries to add value to these materials. The second proposal, therefore, is for the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee to make public minutes of all MPC sessions. Dr. Humphrey Enyimdake made these proposals at the India-Ghana Business Summit, of which we have more in this report. It was an ambitious list of proposals by the Association of Ghana Industries to the government. Speaking at the India-Ghana Business Summit, President of the AGI, Dr. Humphrey Enyimdake, made a case for a total ban on the export of raw materials, including cocoa, and for the Bank of Ghana's Monetary Policy Committee to make public minutes of all MPC sessions.
I am of the opinion that to some extent, some agricultural products should be banned from export in their raw state. I say this, and I know it shall be a provocative statement. Why should it be the case that paddy rice should be exported in its raw state, whilst we have factories in Ghana that could add value and export it as a finished product? So we are proposing that such exportable products should be taxed. And I always refer to the monetary policy report because to me, it comes with its true position. However, I always charge the governor that in other jurisdictions, the minutes of the policy committee's report is published. However, in Ghana, that is not the case. They only give out the data and then the report. When you get a minute of the meeting, you will understand each member's concept and ideology to the economy. And in law, you will sometimes call it the dictum of the judges. You will see how the variances are in the decision in the minutes. It's our prayer that he either brings us to the table or submits the minutes to us to understand what goes into the data and the publication of the reports.
Also at the conference, Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Sigant Rajaram, believes innovative business reforms by government are urgently needed to deepen bilateral ties between both countries.
With Industry 4.0, we'd like to see that we work together on Skill Development 4.0. This is very important because the new businesses demand new kind of labor. The traditional labor has no place to contribute towards the new industry.
In all of this, the Deputy Trade Minister, Michael Trebefi, assured Indian investors the government continues to ensure a business-friendly environment for businesses beyond the impact of the coronavirus pandemic.
Government recognizes the importance of an enabling business environment and its engagement with the private sector in attraction of both domestic and foreign direct investment. In view of this, we are embarking on a business regulatory reforms program as part of our industrial transformation agenda to address the bottlenecks impacting on business development, reducing the cost of doing business, and positioning Ghana as a preferred destination for foreign direct investments.
The India-Ghana Business Summit saw captains of industry renew commitments to bolster trade activity between both countries. It was themed Strengthening India-Ghana Business Relations Post-COVID. Now, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Afriyie, says it is premature to push the panic button over the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. Though he admits that the agriculture sector is faced with a lot of issues, he is, however, not worried about the situation. According to him, interest in the program is very high, as farmers are keen on making it flourish regardless of the impediment. He was speaking at the handing over of the cash prize to the 2021 National Best Farmer.
The event saw the official handing over of the ultimate prize of 600,000 Ghana cedis to Alhaji Mohammed Mashood, the ultimate winner of the 2021 National Best Farmer Awards. According to the Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Owusu Efri-Akoto, the sector is resilient and his government remain committed in ensuring that the agriculture sector continues to play its critical role in the national economy. He, however, admitted that there are challenges that need to be addressed.
We are very confident, in spite of all what is happening to fertilizer shortages and rocketing fertilizer prices and fuel prices, which is affecting food prices. We are confident that the interest in planting for food and jobs is still very, very high. We have SAPIP in the north. This year they are clearing 7,000 hectares of land for commercial farmers, and farmers are queuing to be part of their program. In addition to that, we are getting a lot of inquiries for machinery. Farmers want to purchase tractors and other machinery. The interest is very high, so where we may lose a bit on yield and therefore production on the grains, we are going to make it up in terms of the acreages that new entrants into the planting for food and jobs are going to make. So there's no need for anybody to panic.
Managing Director of the Agricultural Development Bank, John Kofi Mensah, hinted on plans to initiate an agribusiness entrepreneurship program targeted at supporting the growth of agribusiness.
In fact, the document is ready, and as I said, we are going to collaborate with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And what we will do is, through the outgrower and in-grower schemes, these are two different things, in-grower schemes, which means that the land will belong to the entrepreneur. And then we will put some students coming out of school around them. We will train them in the whole value chain process. And as we train them, we also use, through our corporate social responsibility budget, we will give them some funding as stipends for their livelihood. We will give them land, they will cultivate. We also mean to provide affordable accommodation.
National Best Farmer for 2021, Alhaji Mohammed Mashood, commended the government for subsidizing farm equipment.
Yeah, with farm equipment, you know, the government is doing very well. For instance, last 2018-2019, we were able, as a group, procure about 14 tractors from the Ministry of Agric under subsidy, something which we have bought around 200,000 Ghana cedis. At the ministry, we had it less than 140,000.
ADB has been supporting the National Best Farmers Awards since its inception.
Now, Funded is Joy Business's new segment, which seeks to equip startups with the right acumen to attract funding. Starts today. This segment starts today on the marketplace. Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah, CEO of Desert Dew Consulting Services, has more on how to develop a business idea. Take a look.
Hello everyone, you are welcome to your 1 minute financial tips with me, Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah of the Desert Dew Services and Consultancy. Today we are talking about your business idea. Always make sure that your business idea is a great one. Always remember that all the big businesses you see today started as an idea, and so make sure that your idea is one that is viable, it is worth investing in, and funders are willing to look at it. Always remember that no funder wants to fund an idea that is not original, and so make sure that your idea is as good as it says, explain into details what it is all about, and make sure that it attracts the eyes of the funders. Always remember that the big idea, no matter how big it is, should always start small and start from somewhere. But once you are convinced it is good, it is viable, it is meeting the needs of your target audience, then you are good to go. Thank you for your time, and thank you to Labadi Beach Hotel for hosting us.
We have more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Charles. It's a pleasure coming your way once again with Marketplace. Enjoy the rest of our programs.